So there's 4 things that have been identified from the research, really showing why people are friends, the motivators for why people are friends after a breakup, after a romantic relationship breaks up. And I want to talk about those because 3 of those are great and 1 is not. And, 3 of those meaning when one of those is the motivator for why you're still in this friendship with your ex, then it usually has a good result, meaning like a high quality friendship on the other side. But when there's one that's here that's not predictive of a good quality friendship on the other side and actually has negative outcomes. So let's talk about these motivators. Number 1 is they call this in the research civility. And this is when you're being kind of civil with your ex. In other words, the reason you're motivated to be friends with them is that you don't really hurt their feelings a lot. You feel in some way like staying in a friendly relationship with them, in a friendship with them, will help ease their hurt and their any upset. So civility is a reason that people stay friends with exes, and depending again, so that could be in a situation where, especially maybe you have an ex that you have children with, that could be a good reason. This is somebody that you just, you don't want to get in the business of hurting. It just doesn't feel good. So, kind of keeping this friendship going, or friendly, to me, that's more friendly than friendship. But anyway, the second motivator is practicality. And I think this one comes up a lot. And this is when, it's just practical to stay friends. Maybe you met at work and you've got a bunch of, and you got to work with this person all the time. Maybe you met through school and you still have classes with this person. Maybe they're in your friendship group. Maybe that is how you started as friends. And then you got together and now you've got this big friendship group and you're not trying to cause drama at work or in your friendship group or at school. So being friends with them really just kind of works. It's again, more practical. I had a client not long ago their families were very intertwined. And so, when you're going to see your ex at every single family, thing for the next 100 years, you're going to see them over and over. So you want to stay really friendly, and so that the families feel good about staying friends and what they're doing. So they're less uncomfortable. And so that would also be a little bit of civility, right? Trying to help them, trying to be civil with everybody, and also some practicality there. So obviously some of these motivators might go together. The third motivator is security. Okay. And this is a really important one. So this is when you're thinking, well, this is someone I really trust. This is someone who was my confidant for many years, who I feel is a support for me when I've had issues. They've been so supportive. This is someone I really trust. And so I have this friendship with them from a security standpoint. There's someone I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose this relationship I have, and this way that I feel like I can talk things through, like they really know me. Again, like I trust them in this way. Again, depending on the kind of relationship you had as a couple, or maybe even that you were, or again, friends first and then went to being a couple, and now you're sort of going back to friendship, and you just don't want to lose it. So, and this has been shown from the research to be the most predictive of positive outcomes, meaning when people are motivated to stay friends with an ex because of security, because of this reason, they have the best kind of high quality friendships. That seems to be a really solid, good friendship. Okay. And then we get to number 4, which is a motivator that I think everyone thinks everybody has, but it's often not. I need to say that. It's really not the reason a lot, but it is this does show negative outcomes when this is the motivator, and you've probably guessed it. It is when you have one of the partners has unresolved romantic feelings. So, in my day, we called this dick in a box. It's like you kept your ex on a little string just in case you had an emergency later, and you decided, you changed your mind, you were out there dating, and, you thought the grass was greener and it's not. And you want to keep this person around. So you sort of keep this friendship and this little way that you stay in their lives. So that, as you might imagine, had pretty negative outcomes for a friendship on the other side. These were not good friendships. They were very one-sided. There was a lot of problem in these kind of friendships.